Hi everybody, welcome back to Marked by Wrestling. I'm Steven. As always, this is my tag team partner, Lad, and it's a new year, 2025. So I'm gonna give you 5 predictions for things I think that are gonna happen in the world of wrestling in the year 2025, mainly geared towards WWE. My only condition on the predictions is, barring any injury from anyone else, and assuming it's gonna happen before the end of the calendar year. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. Prediction number 1. Mr. Money in the Bank this year will be Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo's been hanging out in the mid-card of SmackDown, trading matches with Andrade for the past several months, intermixing a little bit of matches with Cody Rhodes, LA Knight. And honestly, just given the tradition of briefcase holders, he really fits the bill to be the next guy. Depending on what they want to do with it from there, he's definitely already got his catchphrase from his NXT days. I mean, the phrase "Mellow in the bank" is right there. Mellow don't miss. He can really start to amplify his character and the sort of swagger that he carries around by being the briefcase holder if booked right. So I'm predicting Carmelo Hayes is Money in the Bank winner this year in 2025. Whether he's successful or not in his cash-in, or if he even cashes in before the end of the year, will remain to be seen, but I'm predicting he walks out of that ladder match with the briefcase. Mello for Money in the Bank 2025. Prediction number 2, Jordynne Grace not only comes to WWE, but is wearing WWE gold before the end of the year. Now, my prediction is specifically that she'll have either the women's US title or the women's intercontinental title before year's end. I think there's a big argument to be made that, as she appears to be wrapping up her time in TNA, putting over Tessa Blanchard on her way out, it makes plenty of sense for her to come over to WWE, given how well she was featured when TNA and NXT had their sort of Forbidden Door relationship recently. And also, it's not out of the realm of speculation that she would come permanently to NXT at first. But since that TNA relationship has cooled down, we've had Stephanie Vaquer, Julia Zaria, a lot of big name competitors arrive on the scene. So it could be a little crowded for her to go back to NXT, especially since she's already been there. So my bold prediction for Jordynne Grace is she's coming to the main roster, and she will dethrone Chelsea Green or Lyra Valkyria, whoever the mid-card title holder is for the women's division before year's end. Prediction number 3, and personally, this feels like the boldest one for me in my preferences, but I'm gonna call my shot here and hope for the best. Demolition will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. The original is kind of maybe that's not the right word, especially since I'm wearing a Legion of Doom shirt right now, but the first really touted long-reigning WWE Tag Team Champions were Demolition. That role was eclipsed by the New Day famously, and so on and so forth, but Triple H, the bringer of peace that he is, has slowly but surely, and even more since Vince McMahon has made his departure from WWE, mended fences that we all believe to be unmendable. We saw the Ultimate Warrior come back before. Now, granted, some of these were when Vince was still there, but I'm just trying to set the table here. We saw the Ultimate Warrior return and be inducted, Bruno Sammartino, among others. And Demolition, Axe specifically, has had, I'm sorry, I can't not make this pun, has had a big axe to grind with WWE for a long time, specifically with Vince. So I think with him gone, I think those fences can be mended. I think it would do a big honor just for tag team wrestling in general in WWE. And Demolition is overdue for a team that when they debuted were just kind of looked at by a lot of people as Road Warrior knockoffs. Really carved a name for themselves. They had a super memorable theme in a time where there were lots of memorable entrance themes. Theirs stood out. And you also had the 3-man team after a while, Axe, Smash, and Crush. And so Barry Darsow, Smash, played a lot of roles in WWE over time, multiple characters over WWF and WCW careers. And so while they wouldn't be headlining, I think they would be a worthy addition to the Hall of Fame class. And why not go ahead and do it now? It's overdue. Demolition for the Hall of Fame in 2025. All right, prediction number 4, and this is my only AEW prediction because I am a man of limited AEW knowledge and exposure. You can just tell by all of the paraphernalia and memorabilia around me that AEW is not... Okay, what? Can I finish, please? You don't want me talking about AEW. But here is my prediction. Before year's end, Bobby Lashley will be AEW champion. Now, full transparency, I settled on this prediction before Kenny Omega made his in-ring return in New Japan recently, which was deservedly very well received, and there's been a lot of clamor for him to be the guy who comes back into AEW and dethrones Jon Moxley and ends this Death Rider nightmare that's going on right now. That could happen, and I could miss on this one, but seeing the Hurt Syndicate on AEW television, they are head and shoulders the most credible, superstar, money-making worthy stable that's on that program right now, just in this guy's opinion, okay? And I don't say that to tear anybody else down. I just want to emphasize the legitimacy that I think the Hurt Syndicate has. So if you got a team of bona fide stars coming out every week, it really should be just simple math to put together that the head of that group, Bobby Lashley, should be the champion of that company in the next 12 months. I mean, that shouldn't be a very bold prediction. That should be really a slam dunk. But honestly, I'm very bad at predicting what AEW will do, as I think a lot of fans are. So we'll see what happens. But prediction number 4, Bobby Lashley is AEW champion. And finally, my last prediction of the year has to do with the face that runs the place, John Cena, and his retirement tour. My prediction is that he will challenge for world title number 17 in 2025, but he will fail. Listen, John Cena has endured an incredible career in pro wrestling. You know, he was a guy that thought he wasn't going to make it, started out very generic, and then by happenstance happened to be observed, you know, just displaying a passion and a talent that he had for freestyle rapping, and that catapulted his career in a completely different direction. And he is now, you know, a Mount Rushmore level pro wrestler in WWE history now. And, you know, the rest is history. So coming back for one last run, I think is really fun. There's a lot of interesting matchups, I'm sure, that are coming our way. And as of current recording time, he's already declared for the Royal Rumble and has his eyes set on title reign number 17. But I just think he's going to come up short. There's something to be said about early world champion John Cena and later stages world champion John Cena. The John Cena that a lot of wrestling fans hated, the LOL Cena wins John Cena, who was going over Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, others during that time, just had a different aura about him than, let's say, the United States title open challenge John Cena. And this latter half career, John Cena definitely does seem, and he alluded to this a little bit in his promo on the Netflix premiere, that that maybe his time is running out and it's time to give other people the spotlight. And I think he wrestles like it now. And you know, we're called Marked by Wrestling because we like to believe, right? Because believing makes wrestling better. And honestly, I do believe a little bit that he does want to go out making other people better. And at some point in his career, he had that switch where he went from, and not that he was always in control of his own booking or anything like that, but at some point he went to toppling Randy Orton, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, all those guys I mentioned before, to putting over CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, tried to put over Austin Theory, God bless him, but you know, like Solo Sikoa, these other guys. And so I think he is going to make a run of it. I think it's going to be exciting because John Cena knows how to sell a feud. And I think people will be into it, and I think it'll be really hyped. And I think I'll be doubting this prediction when that match happens, but ultimately, I think he'll come up just a bit short. And that's how, I don't know if that's how he'll hang it up, because I do feel like I think that title match will happen at WrestleMania, but there's still, what, 8 more months left in the year before he fully retires? So how many chances might he have at the title? I do believe he's gonna fail at that goal. Whether it's in his first shot or, you know, whatever. But yes, I think they're gonna give us what we want. John Cena's gonna challenge for number 17. But I just don't think he's going to get the job done. Anyways, there's nothing personal against Cena. It's just what I think is going to happen. Tell you what, leave me some comments, leave me some predictions in the comments for your predictions for 2025. And at the end of the year, we will come back and I'll post some of your predictions as well. And we can revisit them together and see just how wisely or poorly we've chosen with our predictions. So until then, just remember, being a mark just means you believe. And believing makes wrestling better. See you next time, guys.